More and more people are fighting back against the Republican war on voting rights. Check it out. Leave your comments, ding the bell, share it with your friends, and subscribe to our channel. So apropos what Greg was talking about, if Georgia is successful in allowing 340,000 plus largely African-American and Hispanic voters to be thrown off the voting rolls because this Texas maggot group is naming them and saying, oh my God, they need to be thrown off. If that is successful, then, it's remotely possible that next year, when the governor and the Secretary of State and the Attorney General and all these state officials in Georgia are up for re-election, that and Raphael Warnock, the senator, Reverend Warnock, is also up for re-election because he won in a special election. It's remotely possible that they can use this to win an election, but I think it's going to blow up in their face. At least I hope it's going to blow up in their face. But these guys are not backing down. They're not even beginning to talk about backing down. I mean, just consider this. The Georgia House yesterday afternoon, I used to fly Delta a lot. Back in the day when I lived in Atlanta, when Louise and I lived in Atlanta, we owned a travel agency for a while, and then we sold that, moved to Germany, came back after a year, and started an advertising agency. And the advertising agency, one of the things that we did, in addition to having several of the Fortune 500 companies in Atlanta as clients, we also taught seminars all around the country on how to do advertising and marketing, internal communications, promotion, stuff like that, to people in companies. These were, $165 to $235 all-day workshops. And, we'd drop, 4 or 5 million pieces of mail a month. I mean, it was all over the country. And I taught a lot of these seminars. We had 5 of us who were teaching these seminars. And so I ended up with 2 million miles on Delta Airlines, becoming a flying colonel. So I tweeted yesterday to Delta, hey, thanks so much for your CEO coming out and saying that the Georgia law was literally based on a lie. That lie being that there was massive widespread fraud in Georgia, this lie that Donald Trump is promoting, this lie that the Republicans are promoting, this lie that the Republicans are using to justify the same kind of voter suppression they've been trying to do since the 1960s, when William Rehnquist was running Operation Eagle Eye out of Arizona, where he would show up and threaten Hispanic and Native American voters. So anyhow, I tweeted out, thank you to Delta, to your CEO, for finally saying out loud, yes, it's a lie. So the Georgia State House also responded to the CEO of Delta, which is based in Atlanta and has 33,000 employees living in the state, the largest employer in the state, bigger than even Coca-Cola. The Georgia State House, the Republicans, the maggots in the Georgia State House, they went nuts on this too. And what did they do? They said they passed a law that would eliminate the tax breaks for Delta Airlines for jet fuel. Now, I'm not sure you can quite call it a tax break. Any company that has any expenses related to doing business can deduct those expenses from their taxes. I mean, this is just normal. You couldn't run a business if you couldn't do that. If you had to pay income tax on revenue without being able to deduct your expenses. I mean, it's just very straightforward, right? But this is what they're trying to do in Georgia. They're trying to say that the cost of jet fuel is now considered part of your profits, not your expenses, and you're going to have to pay taxes on it. This vote was 97 to 73 because there's 97 Republicans in the State House and 73 Democrats. And, what's going to come of it? Well, it went to the Senate, and we'll see. Yeah, I mean, the Republican Party is all about punishment, right? They're trying to punish Delta Airlines now. Are they going to punish Coca-Cola? But see, what happens in Georgia doesn't stay in Georgia. Now, this from the Texas Tribune. Senate Republicans on Thursday, this is this morning, Senate Republicans on Thursday cleared the way for new sweep. This was an overnight bill, by the way. They did this in the middle of the night last night. Senate Republicans on Thursday cleared the way for new sweeping restrictions to voting in Texas that take particular aim at forbidding local efforts meant to widen access. In the overnight vote, after more than 7 hours of debate, the Texas Senate signed off on Senate Bill 7. This from Raw Story, by the way. Oh, no, this from the Texas Tribune. Signed off on Senate Bill 7, which would limit extended early voting hours, prohibit drive-through voting, and make it illegal for local election officials to send applications to vote by mail to voters, even if they qualify. This bill has been deemed a priority by Lieutenant Governor Dan Patrick. He's the guy who said, hey, if you're over 70, you should be willing to die for everybody else. We shouldn't open this, we should just, get rid of the masks, open the state back up. Yeah, old people will die, but, old people should be willing to take one for the Gipper. It also allows poll watchers. Now, poll watchers are not nonpartisan folks. Poll watchers are typically members of either the Democratic or Republican Party. They're partisans. It would allow poll watchers broader access at polling places, giving them the power to video record voters, which is right now, illegal. It would prohibit the day of 24-hour voting that Harris County did, Houston area, last November. It would outlaw drive-through voting. This is what they're doing. And to that, this is where your blowback is coming. I mean, this was posted over by Atticus over on Democratic Underground this morning. Despite laws passed or proposed in some states, I will give water to thirsty people whenever and wherever I encounter them. And if an elderly or disabled person asks for a ride to the polls, I will provide it. The desperate and vindictive Republicans in Georgia and Florida and Texas and wherever else they're in power can go to hell. I choose to be an outlaw. See, I think this is happening. I think this is the last gasp of a dying party that has been living based on a lie since the 1960s. But I could be wrong. I mean, it may well be that they'll go along with it. If you just watch Fox News for a couple hours in the evening, you will get it, that a lot of Republican voters have no idea what's actually going on.